You could argue that the Volkswagen T-Roc is the ultimate crossover. It combines the rugged looks and the family-friendly practicality of a 4x4 with low running costs and the affordability of a normal family hatchback. And with this convertible, you can throw in open-air motoring into the mix. How's that for blurring traditional boundaries? The question is it any good, or does being a jack of all trades also mean being a master of none? Well, this review will reveal all over the next few minutes, but in the meantime, why not subscribe to the CarGurus UK YouTube channel? What's more, clicking on the bell icon will turn on automatic notifications, so whenever a new video goes live on the channel, you'll be the first to know. It's pretty clear the T-Roc Cabriolet is not your average SUV, and depending on the state of the sky, you can put the roof up or down in about 10 seconds and up to speeds of 19 miles per hour, which is really handy for those sudden downpours that we get. Aesthetically, if you go for the sporty R-Line model that we've got here, you get some styling details, including these different bumpers and 19-inch alloy wheels. And whatever model you go for, it is quite distinctive in the way it looks. Now, most SUVs lend themselves to family practicality. With this Cabriolet, that's not quite so much of a focus. The boot capacity here is 280 litres, which is 100 less than in a Volkswagen Golf. Not only that, but it's accessed here. And I think I would only just about manage to get the double pushchair in, maybe even not get it in at all. So it's definitely not a focus with this car. You've also got this rather chunky load lip to contend with, and although the back seats do drop to allow you to boost your cargo space, doing so only opens up a small aperture between the boot and the passenger compartment. It's much more positive news for rear passengers though, because there is plenty of room, even if you're 6 foot tall, which I'm not. I'm 5'4½", but as you can see, I have copious amounts of headroom. I mean, honestly, with the roof down, I do have enough headroom, and there's loads of leg room, even if the person sitting in front of you is quite a bit taller than me. Getting out, however, you do have to do a bit of a bend and a twist, but it's not too bad. The conventional dashboard design puts most of the main controls right where you expect to find them, so it's easy to find your way around, and all versions come with the same 8-inch touchscreen infotainment system that supports DAB radio, sat-nav and full smartphone mirroring. It's simple to use with a responsive screen, logical menus, handy shortcut buttons and sharp graphics. And if you upgrade from entry-level design trim to the R-Line car we've got here, you'll also get these digital instruments, which are just as clear and easy to use. Storage is decent. We've got 2 cup holders here, and also the door bin will accommodate a bottle as well. There's a little bit of storage here, and there's a lidded compartment, small but decent enough size, and then a decent sized glove box as well. And in terms of getting comfortable for driving, there's plenty of adjustment in the steering wheel for reach and rake, and the seat as well, so you should be able to get that good driving position. Visibility is also very, very good. Apart from when you've got the roof up, it's quite difficult to see out the back. Thankfully, however, parking sensors front and rear come as standard. What you might not be quite so impressed with in here is the quality of the materials on display. It does feel sturdy and well put together, but where you would expect to find some squidgy, soft, appealing materials, they're just not there. There's actually quite a lot of hard, scratchy plastic. Doesn't have the poshness that you would expect from a Volkswagen. The big question is though, how appealing is the T-Roc once you get it on the road? Let's find out, shall we? Depending on how you specify your T-Roc, you'll get one of 3 different suspension setups. So if you go for design, you get standard setup, and if you go for R-Line, you get sportier, lower, stiffer suspension. And on this car, we've got the optional adaptive suspension, which allows you to alter it depending on what mood you're in. So you can go for nice and comfortable and relaxing, or you can stiffen it up when you're feeling a little more sporty. In truth though, whichever mode you pick, the car feels pretty softly sprung. You'll sense quite a bit of up and down movement on undulating roads, and the nose of the car dipping and rising as you hit the brakes and accelerator respectively. Now, ordinarily this softness equates to an absorbent, comfortable ride, but the T-Roc has a slight problem. You see, when you chop the roof off a car, you lose some structural rigidity, and that is partially remedied with extra bracing under the skin. Trouble is, the suspension can't do its job as well as it normally would do, so you do tend to feel some judders and jolts through the body when it goes over lumps and bumps. As a result, the ride never feels as settled despite the soft suspension. That softness also means you feel quite a lot of body roll in bends, and that, combined with the extra 200 kilos or so of bracing that the Cabrio needs over the regular T-Roc, means that the car doesn't feel all that keen to change direction. Having said that, there's an absolutely huge amount of grip to call upon, and the steering is well weighted, so the handling isn't completely without its merits. The engine is the same 148 brake horsepower 1.5 litre that we found to be dazzling in other Volkswagen Group cars because of its perfect blend of performance and economy. In the T-Roc, however, it is slightly less dazzling, and that is probably down to the extra weight that this car is carrying. A 6-speed manual gearbox comes as standard, but this car is fitted with an optional 7-speed twin-clutch automatic. It's not an option we'd recommend adding because when you're pulling away or when you're picking up enough speed on the move to warrant a downshift, there's an annoying pause before anything happens. Having said that, the gear shifts are smooth, the engine is quiet, and the fabric hood does a really good job of keeping the road noise out. Less positively, when the roof is down, it is quite windy, and so wind in the hair is very, very true with this car. And when you get up to motorway speeds, you do get a lot of road noise. Right now, the T-Roc Cabriolet doesn't really have any direct rivals. So, does that mean that rival manufacturers have been missing a trick by not offering drop-top SUVs? Well, not really. It does offer a shade more passenger space than most other compact convertibles, but it's still not what you'd call the last word in practicality. Plus, it still has the same dynamic flaws as other small convertibles, and it's not cheap. But if you like the way it looks and you're a fan of the T-Roc, especially in cabriolet guise, then you're probably already sold, and in which case, it is a very solid choice. As ever, we'd love to know if you agree with our verdict on this car, so please do tell us in the comments below, and remember to like and subscribe as well. What's more, you can find loads more new and used car reviews on this channel, and to find a great deal from a top-rated dealer on your next car, head over to cargurus.co.uk.